Good morning. Welcome to today's stream. I found and prepared for you the latest information from the world of transport. We will talk about the labor market, politics, news, and the latest hackers attacks, which also concern transport. So please take a look at the information that I found for you. It might be interesting for you. Give me a second. I will share my screen so it would be more comfortable for you. Yes, the first information is most of the information today will be about labor situation, labor market, when it comes to transport branches. So we will start with drivers from South Africa. That might be great news for the European logistics sector. The industry has seen a number of changes over the last few decades. One of the most noticeable ones was the shortage of truck drivers in European countries. The long-term solution for that was to turn to third-party countries to fill these vacant positions and keep the supply chain moving. Truck drivers have come from various Asian and African countries to bolster European logistic companies. One of the emerging heavy contributors when it comes to skilled truck drivers is the South African region. Some of the top countries that are sending skilled logistic workers to Europe include South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. There are a numbers of reasons why this area in particular has been delivering experienced, talented, and capable drivers over and over again. European companies too have shown an interest in securing manpower from the region. A definite advantage of the South African region's truck drivers is that they are usually fluent in English. Drivers from Asian and other African countries often require English fluency training before they are ready for European jobs. That's quite interesting and very useful. I mean, it's very important to speak English when you work in Europe, of course. It takes them some time to learn to communicate well in the language. With South African truck drivers, you don't have to waste any time on English language training, which lets your work move ahead more smoothly. The region is known for some grueling work schedules and even a dangerous work atmosphere. Truck drivers from the area exist in a world of moving goalposts and unsafe working environments. There has been some socio-political unrest, which has also increased the risk factor of this job. This is why many South African truck drivers are looking for jobs in Europe. Having come from such challenging backgrounds, European truck driving jobs are seen as much easier and more rewarding. European firms are mostly optimistic about the work ethic and the dedication of truckers from the South African region. I'm sorry, give me a second. They are known to be resilient, hardworking, responsible, and easy to be trained. They're also used to driving trucks and trailers that are used in Europe. Many Asian drivers are used to older models and features requiring training for these newer models. Truck drivers from the South African region can get to work for European companies, usually without skipping a step. South Africa is and neighboring countries don't have some of the workplace laws and regulations that make European truck driving jobs very appealing. There's not only better pay, but also much better work-rest balance, leading to less fatigue and fewer accidents. with working conditions and remuneration both being much better. Truck drivers from that area are ready to invest in their dream of securing a more rewarding job in Europe. Yes, so Novalife Global Recruiters has seen an excellent turnout during our recruitment drivers in South Africa. We have been working at ground level with regional truck drivers and have worked hard to establish ourselves as a trustworthy and dependable name in the logistic world. As a result, we are now recruiting heavily from that area for various European firms, and the results have been promising for all involved. Most clients' companies have been very satisfied with the results and are ready to hire more candidates for more profiles. It is still too early to predict the exact degree of impact South African truck drivers will have on the European logistic market, but it shows all the indications of being a profound one. A resilient, skilled, and dependable workforce is just what Europe needs, while South Africans want the better pay, better regulations, and relative safety of European trucking jobs. This method exchange of resources and skills can lead to long-term progress and profit for both regions, which would be a logistic dream come true for all. On the other hand, I have an article from a Polish from a Polish website. Give me a second. It is from etransport.pl. I've translated the article. It's quite interesting. It's about the mood on the labor market that is not very optimistic right now. On the other hand, there is a shortage of workers from one point of view. From the other hand, we have information about the reduction of employment. So nearly every fifth company intends to reduce employment. This is largely the result of economic uncertainty and rising employee costs. And it's the information is from Poland, but I think it may be applied to other. The situation is probably in other European countries is similar to other countries. Announcements of employment reductions of several or even several thousands are not dangerous yet. They will have a negative impact on local labor markets. So if we say that these are layoffs in the Kuyavian-Pomeranian voivodeship or Greater Poland voivodeship, the negative effect will be felt on these local markets. But of course, this will not translate into any increase in unemployment. Poland is a country that is aging very much. We don't have a constant inflow of new young workers into the labor market, so we don't even have to fear an increase in unemployment. Already at the end of 2023, information about planned group layoffs appeared. Scania in Słupsk announced the layoff of 700 people, ABB in Kłodzko 600 people. In April, the Levi's factory also announced that it was closing its operations in Płock and laying off 800 people. According to the Central Statistical Office data, at the end of March this year, 159 companies declared collective layoffs of 700,000 employees. Yeah. Marcin Kucznik, an economic analyst at the Polish Economic Institute, who compared the March data of the Central Statistical Office and planned groups layoffs with date for the same months from 2004, indicates that this is the sixth lowest result in the period under study. And in terms of the number of people who will lose their jobs, 2010. Moreover, company announcements do not always have to be matched by the number of actual layoffs. As the head of the Ministry of Labour and Social Policy, recently recalled in 2023, employers announced their intention to collectively lay off 30,000 people. And in fact, on slightly 17,000 lost their job, actually. Yes, this is of course a good action, but it will be okay. This situation is not expected to affect the overall unemployment rate, which remains low in Poland. In March, it was 5.3%. Yes, so 88,000 new job were created in March. No, sorry, 88%, 88,000 were created in March. So it was 9.8% less than a year ago. Moreover, the Central Statistical Office in Economic Climate Surveys confirms that significantly more companies plan to reduce employment than to increase it. Yes, this is certainly the result of the economic slowdown that we are observing, as well as a decline in orders, especially from Western Europe, from our Western partners, which contributes to a change in plans related to employment potential. But I'm afraid that these are also negative structural factors related to the growing cost of running a business in Poland. Yeah. Too high increase in the minimum wage year on year. So yeah, this is quite serious right now. The mechanism that this is in force today shows that increase in the minimum wage must correspond to half the level of GDP plus the inflation rate. So these should be single-digit increases. Okay, so that's it when it comes to Poland. Now I will take a look at Ukrainian transport. Ukraine's road transport industry is set to be put under severe strain amid new army mobilization laws. Road transport companies in Ukraine have expressed fears that the country's haulage sector is one on the brink of a significant crisis, with changes to the law on mobilization set to take effect on May 18th. Industry representatives are deeply concerned about the devastating impact the new rules could have on the sector. A major national haulage association in Ukraine recently organized a meeting in which transport companies highlighted how the new mobilization rules fail to take account of present-day realities in the road transport sector. At the gathering, industry experts stressed that the mobilization of drivers would not only severely harm the haulage sector, but also hurt Ukraine's economy. Despite the restoration of the Ukrainian maritime corridor and the development of alternative inland shipping routes through the Danube, road transport remains crucial for large-scale export and import. Hauliers argue that the importance of international road transport just cannot be overstated, and it should be recognized as critical for the function of the country's economy. Today, the economy cannot function without road transport. Industry leaders from the haulage sector state that, along with drivers, other essential positions such as vehicle maintenance workers, mechanical engineers, mechanics, and gas electric welders should also be included in the list of scarce labor market professions crucial for Ukraine's international road transportation industry. During the meeting, it was also pointed out that every second representative of the transport industry is subject to mobilization. Extending the amount of exceptions was thus deemed necessary. Petr Yakovenko, a lawyer at Trans Logistics, stressed at the event that the mobilization of even 20 truckers could potentially lead to the bankruptcy of a company with 200 vehicles and drivers. Yes, currently less than 5% of drivers have protection against mobilization. The process of an essential business to receive an employee exception application take about a month, and any errors can delay it further. Meanwhile, drivers are being sent for training at the Armed Forces of Ukraine training grounds. Another issue is that of May 18, international drivers at the border will require military registration documents with a special barcode. Without the proper documents, truck drivers will not be waived on. This has led to fears that drivers might refuse assignments or abandon their trucks abroad and not return to Ukraine. The shortage of professional drivers in European countries is significant, and those who remain in Europe have no issues finding employment. Moreover, the combating of driver non-return has so far proven to be ineffective. In Ukraine, training centers prepare international drivers who often gain experience and then move to work for companies in countries like Poland and Lithuania. The Ukrainian government has been urged to recognize that the transport and logistics industry as critical, ensuring drivers can continue to support the armed force and work towards victory. Haulage industry leaders and the other participants at the aforementioned meeting remain hopefully that a transport and understandable reservation system for international drivers and other specialists will be established promptly, thereby prevent a collapse in both the transport sector and the Ukrainian economy as a whole. So that's it when it comes to the Ukraine situation. Now we have 1 second, not this one. Now I would like to talk about hackers attack in transport. Last week we had on our Polish website 40ton.net an article about attacks in transport, broken GPS, attacks on companies and statistical data. Electronic attacks are an increasingly serious issue in the transport industry. Companies are exposed to thousands of losses, and the threat turns out to come not only from criminals but also from the enemy army. Satellite signal in Poland. We start in the Baltic Sea basin, including Poland. Here, for several months now, there has been talk of interference with the GPS signal, which is attributed to the activities of hackers from Königsberg. It's in Russia, acting on behalf of the Russian army. The main goal of such cyber attacks is to disrupt air traffic, but road carriers are also at risk. Connectivity with the GPS system is necessary to meet SAND requirements, which apply among others to the transport of fuels and waste. Whoever performs such transport without transmitting the appropriate signal may be subject to a fine of 10,000 zlotych. And this is where the problems of carriers come from, especially in the north of the country. Give me a second, sorry. According to Gazeta Pomorska, during Russian cyber attacks, trucks lose their signal and are no longer visible in the sent database. This exposes carriers and drivers to the above-mentioned penalties. However, the National Tax Administration seems to downplay this problem. CAS said in its response that the attack mainly concerns signals for aircraft, while those for road vehicles are not excessively susceptible to interference. Management system in Spain. The topic doesn't end there, as we now move to the other side of Europe. There in Spain, the latest summary of hackers' attacks on companies from various industries has just been presented. In total, there were 237 such events in 2023, and nearly 25% of them concerned transport companies. In the ranking of sectors most at risk of cyber attacks, road freight transport was at the shameful top of the statistic. It got there together with the financial industry, which also received 25%. The telecommunications industry came third, accounting for 18% of last year's attacks. This interest of hackers in carriers probably has its reason. It may be the result of poor security in transport management system, or simply be related to a large amount of sensitive data. What do such attacks look like, and why can they be very costly? An example here we have in another article. I will take a look here later, but I also have another article about hackers. Wilton, hacker attack on Wilton. Production, sales, and finances were targeted. There has been a lot of talk in transport industry lately about hackers attack, and as I read to you just a second ago. Last weekend, information appeared that a vehicle manufacturer, the Polish Wilton Group, had also fallen victim to the attack. According to the company's announcement, cyber criminals attacked the management system of companies operating in Poland and France. This applies not only the domestic Wilton brand, but also the French brand Freuhauf, which was taken over 5 years ago. The affected systems are responsible for production, sales, and finances, and as a result, the company's operations have been significantly hampered. Wilton assures that they have taken mitigating actions to limit the losses, notified the appropriate services, and reported the matter to law enforcement authorities. What did the attack involve in practice? The announcement does not go into any detail here, but past cases may serve as examples. Typically, they refer to the use of ransomware, in which criminals take over company files and then expect a ransom to return them. Yeah, I also heard about the similar situation in a company from Bydgoszcz. It is very close to our office. I mean, it's a neighboring town, a city in Poland. We are located in the same voivodeship, and this situation was also very similar. A company that is manufacturing some parts to for vehicle manufacturers. I mean, their data has also been stolen, and now they are waiting for, you know, the proposition from the hackers. So this looks quite similar right now. Okay, this is it for today. We will see each other on Wednesday at 12. So I would like to wish you a nice Monday and the whole week. So thank you for your attention, and see you soon.